The seven seas. Has there ever been anything more apt than a captain and his ship, a crew full of salty sea dogs, a hull filled to the brim with grog, a hope and a dream? That grandiose feeling of endeavour as they sail their way across the deep blue, sea salt clinging to their hair in all its romantic glory. Our culture has had a vast and expansive relationship with boats and water, and legends of some of the most notorious nautical figures in history have held a special place in our hearts for ad infinitum. One of those then you may well already know, the Flying Dutchman and its captain Davy Jones, but as is always the case, that mysterious place, known only as the SCP Foundation, has a few things to say about this particular sea shanty. Hello internet, what's going on, and once again welcome back to the most inquisitive channel on YouTube, Life's Biggest Questions. As per usual, I'll be your disembodied floating voice Jack Finch, as today we curiously ask the question, what if SCP-2846 was real? Roll the clip. For the curious amongst you, that clip was from Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. Of course it was, because as you all know, this is a video about one of the most legendary seafaring vessels to have ever sailed our oceans, caught in an ever-eternal battle between one of the deep blue sea's most legendary leviathans. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, because first we have to sketch out exactly what's going down with this particular entry in the Foundation's archives, because there's a lot to get through. As the record states, collectively speaking, SCP-2846 refers to an incredibly specific set of phenomena that occurs within the Gulf Atlantic region of the Atlantic Ocean. It's split into 916 specific entities, but if that seems overwhelming, don't worry, because it will all make a little more sense soon. The primary components of this aquatic phenomena are two parts, SCP-2846-A and SCP-2846-B. The A component is a massive aquatic octopoid entity that is currently estimated to be between 955 and 990 meters in length. The entity in question is known to appear from its deep watery domain during storms within the Gulf Atlantic that will then attack civilian vessels, specifically targeting cruise liners or merchant ships, and as it appears, it has a particular taste for civilians. And yes guys, that's because you guessed it, SCP-2846-A is in fact the Hafgufa, the Lingbacker, the sea mist heatherbacked monstrosity of both Scandinavian and salty sea dog legends, as first depicted in the old Icelandic saga Olva Odir, the Kraken. The first recorded appearance of 2846-A by a Foundation personnel came in 1905, when the then Admiral Reginald von Allen sighted a creature at least 3 times the size of his vessel rising from the depths of the sea with a whale wrapped within its long tangle of tentacles. Yep, sounds like our guy the Kraken to me. But in this particular entry, our Leviathan friend has a little bit more of a relationship, shall we say, with another notorious nautical namesake. As the record also states, SCP-2846-B is a large seafaring vessel that appears during any and every Kraken event. The vessel now appears to be a Pennsylvania-class super dreadnought battleship, a model that was commissioned as part of the US Naval Force through 1919 up until 1946. Although we'll get into it a little bit more later, this battleship was proudly gifted to SCP-2846-B by the Foundation as a means to an end. Essentially, any time the Kraken emerges from the water, so too does the battleship, and will engage the creature in a skirmish to the death, where the two become locked in combat until the Kraken is sufficiently crippled or otherwise incapacitated, after which both entities will submerge until the next appearance event. According to eyewitnesses, the battleship appears hazy in any video or photographs, because that's of course how things usually happen when you're dealing with anomalous phenomena, and individuals have described it as being vaporous in appearance. Also, it fires green flames, because why not? But the really interesting component to this particular anomalous entity doesn't necessarily come with the ship itself, but instead the crew that pilots it, as it's led by none other than Captain David Thomas Jones of His Majesty's Royal Navy, who may or may not be the legendary Davy Jones, the murky mediator of the deep blue sea. But come on, it is. In the Foundation's case, this entity is referred to as SCP-2846-B1, and all of his 915 crew members have their own SCP designation, because why not, right? They're immortal sailors caught in eternal combat with a Kraken, and it's safe to say that they've pretty much earned it by this point. And here is where our hypothetical notion disseminates itself across the halls of historical legend, because this particular sea tale already is rooted deep in our culture. In fact, perhaps out of most entries in the canon of the SCP Foundation, 2846 may just well have the best foothold in reality. It's just that in this case, it's had a little bit of a facelift to bring it up to the 21st century, and instead of cannons, gunpowder and sails, the Flying Dutchman has a dreadnought battleship with artillery batteries, sonar and more depth charges than you can sink a Kraken with. The reason being that Davy Jones's eternal battle against the tentacle titan is much more important than just a romantically bloody gunpowder showdown out in the deep dark blue, because as the Foundation have found out to devastating consequence, the Kraken isn't alone. You see, it has friends, and they're locked deep beneath the ocean bed, and SCP-2846-A wants nothing more than to free them all so the deep ones can take over our planet and gobble us all up with their tentacles. Probably. Anyway, yeah. I told you there was quite a bit to this one. See, the thing is, SCP-2846 plays fast and loose with folklore, but in this case it resonates on a whole new level. The legend of Davy Jones's locker being the immortal resting place for sailors who've lost their souls at sea, allegorically speaking, has been an incredibly prolific euphemism for drowning or shipwrecks. It's been a way to commemorate the tradition of countless lives lost to the ocean. But if this anomalous instance was real, and those brave immortal souls did indeed end up on the deck of the Flying Dutchman, facelift and all, with Captain Jones himself at the helm, locked in battle with the Kraken in an effort to save all of humanity, then I think the romanticism of the oceans just got turned up to its maximum. The one thing keeping a lid on the end of the world is the Flying Dutchman, and the vast majority of the planet have no idea the factor that it plays in their continued survival. We know next to nothing about our own oceans, never mind the potential monstrosities lurking deep within its murky depths, and we don't really seem to be willing or even able to figure out exactly what's going on down there. If that is the case, then perhaps the Flying Dutchman isn't the hero that planet Earth deserves, but most definitely the one it needs right now. Well, there we have it, our roundabout play-by-play for the anomalous properties of SCP-2846 and the whole dead man's chest that comes with it. What do you guys think? Do you see it some other way, or do you just have some interesting insights to add? Please do what you do best and let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Before we depart from today's video though, let's first take a quick look at some of your more resounding remarks from over the past few days. Timothy Reeves says, it's not octopuses, it's octopi. Well, Timothy Reeves, yes, you're kind of right. In fact, both are correct, and technically speaking, so is octopodes. It's debatable whether the word octopus has its root as a Latin word or a Greek word, so because of that, you can say whatever the hell you want. I hope that's cleared the air, Tim. Thank you. On that note, that's all we've got time for in today's video. Just stick around all the way until the end. If you were a fan of this video or just Life's Biggest Questions in general, then please be a dear and hit that thumbs up button as well as that subscribe bell. And we'll be seeing you in the next one. As per usual, I've been your disembodied floating voice, Jack Finch. You've been watching Life's Biggest Questions. And until next time, you take it easy.